tells me that there's a lot of levels of incompletion going on.
So, okay.
Okay, good. All right, great. Great, 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 great. Okay, so we wrote down what happened, what they did or said, what you did or said. Okay, that's where we were, right? So what decisions did you make about them? How should they have been? How should you have been? Write down any decisions you made. They should have been nicer. They should have been more understanding. I should have been stronger. James on the bottom.
I have a question. Just push and hold. There you go.
Stand up.
So what I have is my sister.
Do you have a question or are you sharing?
Question.
Question, okay, what's the question?
I can't think of anything.
You can't think of anything.
Because, okay, so you said for the first part, it's just something that happened that, you said that again? For the first part?
Pick a relationship that's incomplete in your life. Any relationship, at any point.
How do you define incomplete?
Well, do you have any distance in between someone? Things are left unsaid?
There's some distance between me and my sister,
Perfect. Pick that.
but I don't have a situation.
You can go back as far as you need to go back.
I don't really remember if there was a situation.
Okay, then you just write down. Hold on, let me just look. New relationship. Who else do you have as incomplete?
A new person?
Yeah, new person.
I haven't really.
Huyan, do you know people?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have relationships with people?
Yeah.
Okay, you do, right?
Right.
Are they all just glorious and over the top, and you're super self-expressing all of them?
No.
Okay, good. Do you know the ones where there's like tension there?
Yeah.
Yeah, start there.
Okay.
Okay? Good. Good, good, good. Just making me work tonight. Yeah, you. Oh, big money. Big money. Okay, so I want you to go back to an earlier time you had a similar experience with that person. And you're going to write down when and where you had that experience and what happened.
Can you repeat that?
Yeah, go back, look back in your life where you had a similar experience with that same person. When was that? Where were you? What happened? And what did you decide? You may start to see a pattern of similar things you've been deciding. Okay, now consider an earlier relationship in your life. Write down the name of the person and when and where you had the experience. It doesn't have to be the same person this time. It's just a similar experience of life. Yeah, so look back further in your life where you had a similar experience and write down what happened with whoever that person is. Now, if you have an earliest incident, like one even earlier than the one you're thinking of now, write that one down. What is incomplete with that person? Yeah, what is incomplete with that person? Yep, before that. Okay, go back to the earliest time. Yeah, you had a similar experience of being incomplete. Write down what was not communicated. Write down any resentments, regrets. Write down any decisions you made about you, about them, about life and relationships. Write down how it should or shouldn't have been in that incident. Yeah. Write down any decisions you made about you, about them, about life and relationships. Write down how it should or shouldn't have been in that incident. You now have an opportunity to complete that incident. Write down what would complete that incident. What conversation would you need to have to complete that incident? What could you now let go of? Let be. Yes, Alan?
With the first one or the second one, or does it matter?
It doesn't really matter, but
Okay.
try and go from the earliest.
Got it.
Yeah. Because they're all going to be similar experiences.
Yeah, it is a common thread.
So what could you now let go of? What could you now let be? What could you now take responsibility for? Yeah, Lou?
I just went back and said, what happened in repeated, what regrets, and what was the other?
Resentments. Okay, again, so now we're looking at what would complete the incident. So what could you now let go of, let be, take responsibility for, forgive yourself for, forgive them for? Reva. Okay, here's what you want to look at now. So looking back at the earliest incident you had versus the first one you wrote down, what similarities or connections do you see in those two? Write down what you see there. Write down to what degree are your reactions in the current relationship or situation a response to whatever you got reminded of. So what's similar in the earliest versus the most recent? And can you see that in the most recent relationship, it's just a reaction to that earliest one? Okay, so who would like to share what they see? Yes. RT, yeah. Come on up. Would you come to the mic, please? Yeah, thank you. RT, come on up too.
So my name is Renee, and I actually came tonight as an invitation to someone who's assisting. I have done the work many years ago, but I had an incompletion with my ex-husband, and the relationship underneath that was my relationship with my dad.
Yes.
And what I can take responsibility for is that it has been my choice to not trust my ex-husband and to do it all myself. And all the while blame him for doing nothing.
Hmm. So what's the possibility aside that?
So the possibility is that I can share the raising of my sons and the experiences that are coming next with my ex-husband without anger and upset, and I can have freedom in all of the things that are coming.
Yeah. So can I offer you something? Yeah. So there's a possibility of being free and open.
Yeah, the possibility that I have inside of all relationships is the possibility of being free and open.
Beautiful. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Artie, and I have a similar one with the father and the ex, and the exes before that ex. Yeah. So my father left my mom with a 10-year-old, an 8-year-old, and no. Well, my older sister
Don't
is
give me
like,
a lot of the story.
well,
Just tell me what
two
you're
much
saying.
older sisters and me, like 10 years younger than them,
Uh-huh.
and he left them. So, and I was only 2, and I don't have any memories. And I always told myself that, cool, good for me, because I can't miss what I never had, so I'm fine. So I was always fine. I grew up like, I'm father, because I never had one, so I'm good. And I liked him. I made myself like him. The very few times I was with him, like, I just decided to just like him, and then so all my stories, they go back to 2 incomplete relationships. The older sister was so hurt probably by the fact that her father left her that she bullied me from my first memories of being bullied by her. She terrorized me. She still does. She blocks me entirely out of her life, even though I really tried to like her. And it's physical abuse, verbal abuse in every way. You're like a much older sister, and I'm basically still surviving the abuse from my older sister and the abandonment of my dad. And I secretly feel really proud of like how well I'm doing despite of all that. And I'm still not really complete about it. So on the Landmark forum, I did that phone call. I didn't have his number or anything. Miraculously, Facebook something cousins. I actually called my dad, and he does what he always does. He's got a very nice voice. He's vocal. He sounds like he's so happy. He's surprised. Oh, you called me? How are you?
Yes, so
That's
so,
like
let me say
very,
something.
very.
Hold on.
He makes it sound like we have a relationship. Okay. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Okay, so just stick with what you saw by seeing the connection. And maybe the impact of that on your life.
The impact is that it's how important it is for me to have them hear me or have a certain reaction from the people I try to be complete with.
Yeah.
Even though I know that it is got not so much about to do with their lives, but it is about my life to be complete.
So if they're not reacting in a particular way, that
Yeah, then it's,
Can't get
then it's, I'm like, I'm still not really,
how many can relate to
because they're
that?
not
See
really
that?
getting it. Like, they don't really hear it, they don't really see it.
Yeah, I got
Like,
it.
I really want him, and I really want my sister to see what happened there, and
Where's that coming
I'm
from?
working on it.
Where's
for-
that
for a
coming
while.
from?
Where it's coming from that I
That
have a need
they're not
that
getting
they,
it. Hold on, stay with me.
It
Stay,
comes-
stay with me, son.
okay. Comes
You
from,
know something? You know you talk over people a lot?
I do,
Yeah. It doesn't work in relationships.
okay.
You know that though already.
I do, it's I use that, it's my defense,
Totally, I get it.
yeah.
Yeah. What are you hiding?
That I'm not ready to hear what they have to say. I don't know. I don't know what
Look,
like, what
what are you
am
defending?
I'm defending my vulnerability. Like, I'm good despite you, if you don't.
Okay, you're like-
It's my vulnerability.
Can I offer you
Yeah,
something?
yeah,
You're, could be, this could be, so you just see.
okay.
You're defending having your heart broken.
Yeah, I have a broken heart.
And you're even just so quick to acknowledge it.
And I'm what? I'm
You're
quick.
so quick to acknowledge that, like it's no big deal.
It's a huge deal, but it's lifelong, so
Just
it's,
stay with-
I don't even know how
stay
to
with-
not be somebody with a
stay
not
with-
broken heart.
I got your back.
Hang on.
Yeah. You were quick to acknowledge it, like no emotion, like no big deal. That's what I was
Oh,
saying.
it's a huge deal, yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Hmm. Like I need to pause more to be more effective in that.
Well, I mean, at the very least, it would have you be present.
No, I'm hugely guarded and I have it down how to
Okay, so
still stand, you know,
yeah. So
not
do
be
you
like.
want to have a transformation in that?
Yeah, yeah, because I see
That's a
a
nice
lot-
smile. When she
I
smiles,
see a
yes?
lot of, I'm doing some work, you know, I'm really not mending, I'm really like, you know,
Yeah.
being complete more.
Okay. So it looks like there's some conversations to have.
I call them and they're like, what?
I'm not.
It's-
I'm
yeah.
not in the business of reasons.
Okay. All right. So I have these in my mind, these completion conversations, and I share them with others who are actually willing to listen to me, and it helps tremendously.
Yeah, but it doesn't get it complete with that person.
I know.
So what are you gonna do?
Call them.
When?
They're in Germany, so
When?
I've been basically thinking to call my father since his birthday 3 weeks ago, which I didn't.
Well, I didn't ask what you've been thinking about,
I think about it every day.
but I didn't ask that.
When am I gonna call?
Yes, thank you.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Hmm.
Okay, it's gonna be your word that carries the day too. If
Yeah.
they don't call, it's gonna be.
Oh, yeah, never call.
No, excuse me. If they don't answer, sorry,
Yeah.
if they don't answer, it's gonna be some message that you leave, some authentic message that you leave that's gonna have them call you back. It's gonna be a place that you're standing, that you wanna get this complete for your life.
They don't even have, my dad isn't even cell phone. I don't think I can leave a message for my dad. I have to try again.
You figure it out.
Yeah, figure it
If
out.
you're committed to it,
Hmm.
because the guarding and defending and the incompletions, they're killing you. You're killing all of us. It sucks your self-expression, your freedom,
It sucks.
your
but it's-
presence.
Yeah.
You're very powerful. But it's
Yeah.
it's like,
But it could be more powerful, yeah.
could be the possibility of power in your life, like no kidding. Okay, so you call your dad tomorrow?
It's in Germany, so it's 9 hours late.